At the 550 now, they approach the corner. Long overdue, Helms Gate. They've gone out hard at each other. They're a length and a half only now to the Carnup Kid, who's been given every conceivable chance and about to come around the heels of these two leaders. I'll tell you what, back in the field, not too many making ground at this stage. Fremont had run to fourth. A Gap, Smooth Flirt, Kim Dynamite, Leonora Sensation, Sky Atlas. Down to the 200, Helms Gate, tackled now by Fremont, the Carnup Kid. Making up ground, Sky Atlas late towards the rail. Fremont, though, levelled up, hit the front. Sky Atlas down on the rail, runs on, but Fremont draws away. It's Fremont, too good for them, and Paul Clear to win it. Fremont has scored, and that's 4 for the day for Chris Parnham. He's dominated the card. Sky Atlas has run second, and the Carnup Kid held on for third. In behind them, Smooth Flirt, also Helms Gate, McCady's Keeper, Kim Dynamite, Election, Leonora Sensation finished back in the field in company with Long Overdue, who faded right out of contention, and it is the last one home, probably bar one. Rorted is back there just in front of it as they'd pulled up. Well, that's 4 out of 7 for Chris Parnham, and that would be his best day on record here. Number 11, Fremont, in what was a race where they carved out a really cracking pace. Fremont up there, not that far away from them. The leaders couldn't keep going, no hope in the world. And Fremont down the outside, putting paid to them. Sky Atlas getting a run over towards the inside, made up some ground late in the race. They've run 1:35.89. 1:35.89. They certainly were running the clock. 34.36 the last 600. Fremont first home for Bob Todd Pearson, S. Baldwin, and not a single doubt, Fiddly Gelding. That's his third win in 25. He promised so much as a 2-year-old, this fellow Fremont. He's been threatening to win one lately and ends a losing sequence of 445 days. And it certainly helps with a rider who's got his tail up, confidence sky high, Chris Parnham. And again, another polished exhibition there. That's 4. Paid 571.78. Sky Atlas second in by Astronomer Royal from Arcadia for Grant and Alana Williams. William Pike, $1.40. 9 the Carnup Kid weighs in third by Blackfriars out of Pride of Sir T. Brad Parnham for trainer Kevin Green. $8 a place. 11.895. Smooth Flirt ran fourth, 2 lengths by 3/4. And that very sharp run of 1:35.89. Race 8, the Lavazza Handicap over 1400 at 5 after 5. Scratch 13, the Escape Plan. 16, Compass Point. 17, Universal Scene. 18, Cayman Bound. Changes there to race 8. Okay, well, let's head down here to Adam once again. And no stopping Chris Parnham this afternoon. He could win on a rocking horse.
Yeah, he certainly could. This is a day to remember at the moment for Chris Parnham, and we'll speak about that in a second. But Neville, before we do, we spoke to you pre-race. We thought this horse was a big chance, and everything just worked out perfectly today.
Yes, it certainly did. You know, everything Chris said he was going to do pre-race, it actually worked out perfectly for him. So he predicted what would happen, and yeah, he got a beautiful run behind him and was able to peel out around him, and the horse finished strongly.
You've spoken about the smarts of Chris a lot to us before on air, and you expect that from the jockeys doing the form. But as you mentioned, I mean, he predicted the 2 leaders, the speed that was going to be in it, and exactly where he'd be. Yeah, no, exactly right. And sometimes that pays when you're doing your form. And you know, I think he's ridden one of those horses before, and you know, he sort of knew that was going to be outgoing and hard and fast. So yeah, just it was his only sort of concern pre-race was sort of Fremont being able to bounce out and come across with those 2 horses, but he was able to get that out of him, and yeah, he did a good job. You mentioned to us prior to the race that you've been trying a few things, gear changes, distance changes as well. We saw just in December stepping up to the 2200, then the 16, the 8 and the 16. Do you feel like you've just got this horse exactly where you want it now and you're starting to learn a lot about him? To be honest with you, I think a miles he's go, but he's a 4-year-old, and we were hoping we could stretch him to 18 or even 2000 just to see if he could pick up some West Speed bonuses. But it's just nice to get him back in the winner's circle, and hopefully that's not his last one. I'm sure you have some pretty happy owners. Congratulations there, Nev. Cheers, thank you. There's Neville Parnham again. We'll grab Chris Parnham. I'm starting to run out of questions for him, but Chris, we spoke to Nev then. He talked about your plan going into the race. So you predicted those 2 would go out in front and tear away, and as long as you jumped it well, you thought you'd have the winning horse.
Yeah, I expected where I was to be in the run, but I didn't expect they'd go that hard. I thought we were in the Winterbottom Stakes, but they went quite hard up in front, but it really suited me. He travelled well throughout, even though we went at a breakneck speed, and it was just a matter of when I was going to let him go. And at the 400, I really asked for an effort for him, and at the 200 metre mark, he sailed away from them. So he's been a bit of a work in progress, this horse. He's had a few issues this prep. It's taken a while for him to hit form, but finally he's been able to get a win for his first win in probably nearly a year and a half. So he showed a lot of promise early, but it's nice to see that he's back on track.
What's your mindset in a race like that when you see the tearaway leaders? You knew that your brother was just in front camping off them as well. Do you get nervous at times to pull the trigger a little bit too early, or were you always confident they were going to fall back?
No, I was laughing the whole race. I was never worried. It was just when I was going to pull the trigger, the horse was going to let me know when he wanted to do that, and how much steam he had left coming to the corner, so there was never a worry in the world.
Well, you can keep laughing, mate. You've won 4 of 7. Congratulations.
Cheers, Adam.
There's Chris Parnham, winning jockey aboard at Fremonda, winning this race for his dad, Neville Parnham.